Hey there, gamer. Today we are going to deep dive into the world of vintage PS2 titles and see which ones are the most expensive. Sit back, relax, hit that subscribe button, and strap in as we bring you the top 10 rarest PS2 games. Number 10, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. The critically acclaimed Dragon Ball Z masterpiece has become a scarce title these days, coming in at $140 for the complete game and manual. This game has the large selection of 98 total characters, with 63 forms, bringing the grand total to 161. This was the largest roster in a fighting game for the time. With the hype of the new Sparking Zero game released in 2024, people were looking for a scratch for their itch, and this game became a distant memory as copies went up in price and copies became more and more scarce. The massive amount of characters isn't all this game has to offer, as the story includes story sagas from every DBZ era, even including some of Goku's childhood. Overall, the gameplay is polished and still holds up to this day, as the formula was completely figured out by this time. Number 9, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Unlike other games on our list, MVC2's reason for being so rare is that it wasn't better on the PS2. Originally on the Dreamcast, MVC2 was a superior arcade title due to the 2D capabilities being better on the Dreamcast. The PlayStation 2 was more so developed for 3D models and veered away from arcade greatness. This caused the PS2 port to be less popular than the Dreamcast version. Marvel vs. Capcom is still fun to play, but for the price of $150, some may be deterred. If you are dying to relive this title, the developers just recently came out with a collection of all the Marvel vs. Capcom games comprised together, and seems like a great alternative. Number 8, Def Jam Fight for New York. Coming in at number 8 is the prolific Def Jam Fight for NY. This title takes the licensed artists of Def Jam Records and puts them into a fantasy world where they are a part of a secret fight club. Artists like Redman, Busta Rhymes, and even Snoop Dogg go at it in some of the most brutal street fights. In this game, you could use the environment to hurt your opponent. You could even throw them in front of a subway train. The story has you create a character who gets involved in the fight club and gets thrown into an interesting world full of rap culture and the power of respect. As you progress, your character gets stronger and faster. You even learn multiple fighting styles that you could combine, such as wrestling and kickboxing. The community of gamers have tried and tried to get a remaster to no avail, and due to its rarity and cult classic following, the title stays in the high-end range on eBay at $164 for the complete game. Although it's pricey, we at Heresy Arcade recommend this title. Number 7, Hunting Ground. In at number 7 is a horror title developed by Capcom in 2006. The game starts with your main character Fiona trapped inside of a cage wearing only rags inside of a ghostly mansion. The game gives off Silent Hill vibes throughout the game and doesn't give you much context as to where you are and how you got there. The inhabitants of the mansion are very hostile and begin to stalk you after time. The game really starts to get unique when Fiona finds a dog named Huey. The AI system for this dog is where the game shines. Depending on how you treat Huey, he will help you distract your stalkers and defend you. If you scold him and lose his trust, he will not help you. The way you treat Huey will depict your ending as well. The game is frightening, with each stalker being unique in different ways. Some are faster than others, some are better at finding you, and some are just very strong. Each stalker has their own theme music, along with very unique AI tendencies. Hunting Grounds hits in so many ways, with crisp graphics for the time, a gripping story, and some extremely scary moments. The game was not very popular at release, but has since had a cult classic following. The survival horror title can be found on eBay for $200. Number 6, Futurama. Yes, Futurama had a game, and it was actually very good. So much so that some people are willing to pay $300 on eBay just to replay this title. Released in 2003 after the 4th season, this game suffered in sales since it had barely any marketing and not a whole lot of consumer demand. This made the game a hidden gem full of great source material and funny moments, just as if you were inside the animated series. While it may feel like a simple 3D platformer, it hits the mark and has all the charm you would expect. You can play as 4 playable characters, including Fry, Bender, Leela, and Zoidberg. The plot of the game starts when Professor Farnsworth decides to sell his company to Mom, who is a known protagonist in the series after realizing the company is going under. After this backfires and Mom tries to take over humanity, the crew tries to find a way to go back in time and save the company. Overall, the game is held in high regards to fans of the franchise and keeps climbing in rarity. Number 5. Obscure. In at number 5 is Obscure, a survival horror game following 5 students trying to unravel the mysterious disappearances happening at their school. Soon after the introduction, you find yourself in a very horrifying situation, where monsters have been secretly inhabiting the school and killing students. With the ability to play the entire game with a friend in co-op mode, this gave the game great value as the story and graphics were already pretty captivating. Throughout the story, you'll find yourself running from monsters, shooting them, and ultimately finding a solution. The story feels like something straight out of a Japanese horror anime and is very rewarding. Due to not many copies selling, the game was short printed and continues to hover around the $360 price range. While some collectors may find this price a bit steep, the game itself is one of the best survival horror games on the PlayStation 2. Number 4. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. At number 4 is Silent Hill Shattered Memories, a reimagining of the first Silent Hill, but keeps the same premise. The story of Harry Mason trying to find his missing daughter inside the fictional town of Silent Hill stays the same, while introduced in a different universe with different characters and some plot changes. For the most part, this title hits just as the original did, and is sought after by fans of the franchise. Due to the title originally being only on the Wii, it was only a port for the PlayStation. This led to the amount of PlayStation copies being very rare, and the average price being $380 on eBay. Number 3. Blood Will Tell. At number 3 is Blood Will Tell, or Dororo in Japan, was released by Sega in 2004. This title has you play a hero named Hyakimaru who has had his body parts stolen by 48 fiends and has prosthetic replacements at the start. With help from a thief named Dororo, Hyakimaru must find these fiends and defeat them in order to complete his body. With each body part, your character will get stronger and stronger. The reason for this title's price tag is mainly due to its cult appeal. The game is inspired by the Japanese manga series Dororo, which was created by Osamu Tezuka. Tezuka was known as the godfather of manga and had a large part in the world of Japanese cartoons. Due to the lack of North American following, this title had been short printed for the US and can be found on eBay these days for $400. The gameplay and story for this title seem to be great and ahead of its time if you are willing to fork up the money. Number 2. Rule of Rose. Number 2 is the controversial horror survival game that has you play as a 19-year-old girl named Jennifer who becomes trapped in a world ruled by young girls. Sony Computer Entertainment wanted to make a horror game and tasked developers Punchline to create one. Punchline wanted to develop a new type of horror game focused on psychological horror. The game focused on the concept of childhood and the mysterious nature of young girls. While this is a unique approach, most gamers found it to be cruel and a bit too much. This leads us to the reason for this game's rarity. After the moral issues resulting in poor sales in Europe, Sony was hesitant about releasing in the US unless the project could be revised. After the two could not find a common ground, the game was short printed and copies are very hard to find. The ongoing price for this bad boy is $750. For that price, most collectors may just want to window shop, as this title has quite a lot of drawbacks. Number 1. Kuon. And finally, coming in at number 1 is the From Software hidden gem Kuon. The trend of survival horror rarity continues with the Japanese ghost story inspired gem that is Kuon. The game has you play 3 characters who explore a haunted Japanese manor. During their exploration, you will encounter hostile monsters that you must defend yourself against and various puzzles. Create a dark narrative based around Japanese Kaidan ghost stories. The narrative is split into 3 parts. The Yin phase, following Utsuki, the Yang phase, following Sakuya, and the unlockable Kuon phase, following Abe no Seimei. The characters get separated and must defend themselves from the many monsters roaming the grounds. Critics gave this game mixed reviews, calling the gameplay slow and uninteresting. However, due to the growing popularity of From Software after the release of the Dark Souls franchise, plus this game's rarity, gave it insane value. Because of this game's small amount of US copies, makes it the most expensive PlayStation 2 title and is widely considered by the community to be the holy grail of PS2 games in regards to rarity. Kuon can be found on eBay for $900 to $1,000 and continues to be a hard find for collectors. Alright gamers, there you have it. the rarest, most expensive PS2 titles you can find. We hope you enjoyed the list as much as we enjoyed creating it. Hopefully you learned something you didn't know about this legendary console. Don't forget to subscribe and join us for another list. Until then, keep on gaming.